In the dim and desolate halls of a grand Victorian estate, I found myself entangled in a sinister web of despair and terror. For an eternity, it seemed, I have been trapped within the suffocating confines of my room, my once vibrant soul slowly withering away. The world beyond my door ceased to exist, and time itself held no meaning. But it was not solitude that tortured me. Oh no. It was the haunting apparitions that plagued my every waking moment. Their translucent forms flickered and danced like phantoms in the twilight, elusive and yet ever-present, whispering secrets I could not decipher. At first, I dismissed them as mere figments of an overwrought imagination, shadows cast by the flickering candlelight. But as days turned into weeks and weeks into years, the ghosts manifested with undeniable clarity. Ghastly specters from forgotten times. They paraded before me in a macabre dance, their faces twisted in pain and despair. How they wept and pleaded, their silent screams echoing through the hollow chambers of my mind. I would reach out to touch them, to grasp some semblance of reality, but they eluded my trembling fingers like smoke in the wind. In my desperation, I embraced the chilling embrace of the ghosts, seeking solace in their haunting presence. Their ephemeral touch sent shivers down my spine, but it was a comfort, a connection to the world beyond the confines of my cursed room. At first, I attempted to ignore them, dismissing their presence as mere hallucinations, but their persistence broke through my fragile defenses, and the line between reality and madness blurred. In the dark recesses of my room, I huddled, my mind fraying at the edges, clutching at any semblance of sanity I could find. Now, I sit here, penning these desperate words in a journal long since stained with tearful ink. How I long to escape this cursed room, to flee the tormenting ghosts that mock me with their silent suffering. The days merge into one long, haunting nightmare, and I yearn for release from this maddening cycle. As the years passed, I learned the truth behind my confinement. A dark secret entwined with the very foundation of the estate. The remnants of a past shrouded in darkness. The spirits of those who had suffered and died within these walls were bound to haunt this place for all eternity. And I, an unwitting intruder, had become an unwilling vessel for their malevolence. Their whispers pervaded my every thought, driving me to the brink of insanity. There was no escape, no respite from their ceaseless torment. With each passing day, the line between the living and the dead blurred, and I could no longer distinguish between the hauntings of the spirits and the fragments of my own shattered mind. The walls seemed to close in around me, and the air grew heavy with the stench of decay. My heart pounded in my chest, and my breaths came in shallow gasps. The ghosts followed me even into the attic, their ethereal presence a constant reminder of my captivity. They whispered into my ears, their voices overlapping, a cacophony of despair and madness. "Stay with us," they pleaded. "You belong here, trapped in the endless torment of our cursed abode." Their words penetrated my thoughts like icy daggers, and I could feel their spectral touch upon my skin, chilling me to the bone. As I delved deeper into the attic's depths, the walls seemed to pulse and breathe, alive with ancient malevolence. The very architecture of the house seemed to conspire against me, shifting and distorting in sinister patterns. Time itself became a twisted, elusive concept, and I lost all sense of the days passing. I stumbled upon dusty, cobweb-covered trinkets, each one a relic of the past. Torn letters, faded photographs, and broken toys held the stories of those who had met tragic ends within these walls. My fingers trembled as I held these fragments of forgotten lives, their essence seeping into my very being. The line between the living and the dead blurred further, and I could no longer discern reality from the haunting visions that besieged my mind. The attic's walls closed in around me, and I could feel them whispering secrets I could not comprehend. Their voices twisted and distorted, a maddening symphony that gnawed at the frayed edges of my sanity. Panic gnawed at my soul, and I found myself clawing at the walls, desperate for escape from the never-ending nightmare. In my delirium, I stumbled upon a hidden door leading to a chamber even more concealed, where the true source of the haunting lay. My heart pounded in my chest as I entered the chamber, the weight of the ghost's malevolence pressing down on me like a crushing avalanche. As I entered the hidden chamber, a wave of chilling dread washed over me, and the ghost's whispers intensified to a deafening cacophony. Hallucinations danced at the corners of my vision, ethereal shadows twisting and contorting into grotesque forms. The floor beneath me seemed to undulate like waves on a stormy sea, threatening to swallow me whole. I clung to the walls for support, but they seemed to shift and melt like liquid beneath my trembling hands. In the center of the chamber stood a decrepit, ornate mirror that seemed to pulsate with an eerie glow. Its surface reflected not my own tormented visage, but a twisted reflection of the ghosts that haunted me. The mirror was a gateway, a portal between the realms of the living and the dead. With trembling hands, I reached out to touch the mirror's cold surface. And as I did, a surge of spectral energy coursed through me. The ghosts howled with a sinister glee, their ethereal forms merging with my own, becoming one with my tormented soul. I could no longer tell where they ended and I began. In that moment, time lost all meaning, and I found myself trapped in a labyrinth of fragmented memories and surreal visions. The ghosts' faces morphed into grotesque masks, and their cries melded with the sound of my own anguished screams. Reality twisted and warped around me, and I felt like I was falling into an endless abyss of madness. The mirror's glow intensified, becoming a blinding light that engulfed me. In that blinding brilliance, time itself seemed to unravel, and I found myself suspended in a nightmarish limbo, reliving the haunting moments of the past over and over again. Eternity became my prison, and I was caught in a never-ending cycle of suffering. The ghost's wails merged with my own, a cacophony of despair that echoed through the corridors of my fractured mind. There was no escape from the horrors that had consumed me, and I was condemned to wander the realm of shadows for all eternity. And so, dear reader, if you ever chance upon the Grand Victorian Estate, heed my warning and stay far away from the cursed room and the haunted mirror within. For within those walls lies a fate worse than death itself, an eternal torment that will bind your soul to the ghosts of the past. My tale serves as a cautionary account, a warning to those who dare to delve into the depths of their own madness. For once, the boundaries between reality and delusion are blurred. There may be no return, and you may find yourself forever trapped in the endless abyss of your own mind, haunted by the ghosts of your own making. As I continue to wander these haunted halls, my identity lost amidst the tortured souls of the past, I pray that my account serves as a grim reminder that the mind is a fragile vessel, and once it breaks, the darkness that spills forth may be too monstrous to ever contain.